It's early in the evening, and you're winding down with your favorite book when suddenly your phone buzzes. You glance at the screen and see a message that feels like a punch in the gut. Someone's rude remark or a passive-aggressive comment. Just like that, your peaceful moment is shattered. Dealing with toxic people is a challenge we all face, but how we respond can completely change the dynamics. Have you ever noticed how a single negative interaction can overshadow your entire day, much like a dark cloud blocking out the sun? It's like a thorn in your side that you can't quite ignore. Here's where your power lies, in recognizing that these harsh moments reflect less about you and more about the other person's internal struggles and insecurities. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius offered timeless wisdom. When another person blames you or criticizes you, look deeper into their soul and understand what sort of person they are. You'll realize there's no need to be anxious about their opinion of you. This perspective helps us look beyond surface interactions and understand the deeper motivations behind others' actions. This confrontation with negativity also offers a unique opportunity for self-reflection. I challenge you to look inward, stripping away layers of societal expectations and judgments from others. What truths about yourself have been hidden by others' negativity? Are you letting someone else's toxic behavior define your day or your self-worth? Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery together, finding strategies to not only deal with toxic individuals, but also to strengthen our sense of self. This video will cover 11 smart ways to handle toxic people, turning their negativity into opportunities for growth and resilience. Number 1, create physical distance. Creating physical distance from toxic people is one of the most effective ways to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Picture this. You're at a family gathering, and there's that one relative who always manages to bring everyone down with their negativity. Instead of sitting next to them, you choose a seat across the room. This simple act can make a significant difference in how much their toxicity affects you. Physical distance isn't just about physical space. It's about creating a buffer zone where their negativity can't easily penetrate your personal space. When dealing with toxic individuals, especially those you can't avoid entirely, like coworkers or family members, this strategy becomes crucial. By physically separating yourself, you reduce the opportunities for direct confrontation and limit their ability to influence your mood and mindsets. From a Stoic perspective, this approach aligns perfectly with the idea of controlling what you can and accepting what you can't. You can't change the toxic person's behavior, but you can change your proximity to them. The ancient Stoics taught the importance of guarding your inner peace and not allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotional state. By creating physical distance, you're taking a proactive step to protect your serenity. In practical terms, this might mean choosing a different seat in a meeting, working from a different location if possible, or simply stepping out of the room when the toxic person is being particularly difficult. If you're in a social setting, it might involve gravitating towards more positive, supportive people instead. Think about it like this. If you were standing in the rain without an umbrella, you'd get soaked. But if you take a few steps under a nearby awning, you'd stay dry. Creating physical distance from toxic people works the same way. It's your personal awning, shielding you from the downpour of negativity they bring. Ultimately, creating physical distance is about taking control of your environment and making conscious choices to protect your well-being. It's a smart, practical step that empowers you to manage toxic interactions more effectively and maintain a healthier, more positive mindset. Number 2, control your emotions. Controlling your emotions is crucial when dealing with toxic people. Imagine you're in a heated conversation with a colleague who constantly belittles your ideas. Your initial reaction might be to snap back or defend yourself passionately. However, reacting impulsively can escalate the situation and give the toxic person exactly what they want. Control over your emotions. To control your emotions effectively, you must first recognize and understand them. When you feel anger or frustration bubbling up, pause and take a deep breath. This moment of mindfulness can prevent you from reacting in ways you'll later regret. It's not about suppressing your emotions, but about managing them constructively. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is at the heart of controlling your emotions. You can't always change how a toxic person behaves, but you can change how you respond. By doing so, you reclaim your power and maintain your composure. When confronted by a toxic person, give yourself a moment to process what's happening. Ask yourself why their behavior is triggering such a strong reaction in you. This reflection can provide insight and reduce the intensity of your emotional response. Try to understand where the toxic person is coming from. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but recognizing that their actions are likely a reflection of their issues, not yours. Empathy can reduce the emotional charge of the situation. When responding, choose words that are calm and measured. Avoid accusatory or inflammatory language. For example, instead of saying, "You're always so negative," you might say, "I feel stressed," when conversations turn negative. By controlling your emotions, you refuse to be a puppet to a toxic person's manipulations. Instead, you stand firm, grounded in your own values and principles. This Stoic approach doesn't mean becoming emotionless. Rather, it means being the master of your emotions, not their slave. In practice, controlling your emotions when dealing with toxic people can transform your interactions and preserve your mental peace. It empowers you to respond with clarity and strength, demonstrating that you are in control of your inner world, no matter the external chaos. Number 3, set boundaries. Setting boundaries with toxic people is like building a fence around your personal space, ensuring that their negativity doesn't seep into your well-being. Think of a time when a friend or colleague constantly invaded your personal space, either by demanding too much of your time or by overstepping your comfort zones. Without clear boundaries, their toxic behavior can drain your energy and erode your mental peace. The first step in setting boundaries is understanding what you can tolerate and what you cannot. This requires self-awareness and honesty about your limits. Recognize that it's not selfish to prioritize your own needs. It's necessary for maintaining your mental health. Imagine you're an island with a finite amount of resources. Allowing toxic individuals to continuously deplete these resources leaves little for yourself and others who genuinely value and respect you. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. The actions and attitudes of toxic people fall into the latter category. However, we have complete control over how we allow their behavior to affect us. By setting boundaries, you assert this control, protecting your inner tranquility. To effectively set boundaries, communicate your limits clearly and assertively. For example, if a coworker frequently interrupts your work with negative comments or unnecessary requests, calmly let them know that you need uninterrupted time to focus on your tasks. You might say, "I need to concentrate on this project, so I can't chat right now. Let's discuss this later." This statement is respectful yet firm, clearly delineating your boundary. It's important to remain consistent with your boundaries. Toxic people may test your limits repeatedly, hoping to find a weak spot. Stand firm. If you've set a boundary that you won't respond to work emails after 7 p.m., stick to it. This consistency reinforces your commitment to self-care and teaches others to respect your limits. Consider the Stoic practice of focusing on your own actions and responses rather than attempting to change others. By setting boundaries, you're not trying to alter the toxic person's behavior, but rather controlling how their behavior impacts you. This approach empowers you to maintain your composure and protect your peace of mind, no matter how the other person reacts. Setting boundaries also involves being prepared to enforce them. If someone continues to disrespect your boundaries, be ready to implement consequences. This might mean reducing contact with them or seeking support from a supervisor or R if the behavior occurs in a professional setting. Remember, it's not about being punitive, but about safeguarding your well-being. In summary, setting boundaries with toxic people is an act of self-respect and self-preservation. It aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control, your responses and actions, while letting go of what you cannot. By establishing and maintaining clear boundaries, you create a safe space for yourself, free from the detrimental influence of toxic behavior. This not only enhances your own peace and productivity, but also sets a standard for how you deserve to be treated by others. Number 4, don't get dragged into their crises. Imagine this scenario. You're at work having a productive day when a colleague bursts into your office panicked about a project deadline they've mismanaged. Their frantic energy is overwhelming, and suddenly your calm day is turned upside down. This is a classic example of getting dragged into someone else's crisis, a common tactic of toxic individuals. Toxic people often thrive on chaos and drama. They pull others into their crises, making their problems seem urgent and insurmountable. This can drain your emotional energy and distract you from your own priorities. It's important to recognize this pattern and develop strategies to protect yourself. The first step is to maintain perspective. Not every emergency is your emergency. When faced with someone else's crisis, pause and assess the situation objectively. Is this genuinely a crisis, or is it a problem of their own making? Understanding this helps you respond appropriately without getting emotionally entangled. In line with Stoic philosophy, focus on what you can control, your reactions and choices. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic, wrote about the importance of keeping one's tranquility amidst external chaos. By maintaining your calm and not reacting impulsively to someone else's panic, you preserve your peace of mind. One practical approach is to offer support without taking ownership of the problem. For instance, if a friend constantly calls you in distress over recurring issues in their personal life, listen empathetically but avoid becoming their fixer. You might say, "I understand this is tough. What solutions have you considered?" This approach shows support but shifts the responsibility back to them. It's also crucial to set boundaries around your time and energy. If a coworker frequently involves you in their work crises, politely but firmly communicate your limits. For example, "I can help you brainstorm solutions for the next 15 minutes, but then I need to return to my own tasks." This sets a clear boundary without dismissing their need for assistance. Realize that it's okay to say no. Toxic people often rely on others' inability to refuse to pull them into their crises. By asserting your right to say no, you protect your own priorities and well-being. This isn't about being unkind. It's about recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Maintaining your own stability allows you to offer genuine support when it's truly needed. Another key strategy is to practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean being indifferent, but rather not allowing someone else's panic to dictate your emotional state. Visualize a buffer between you and the crisis, reminding yourself that you are separate from the problem at hand. This mental technique helps you stay grounded and clear-headed. Lastly, if a pattern emerges where a particular person consistently pulls you into their crises, it might be time to reassess the relationship. Are they contributing positively to your life, or are they a constant source of stress? Stoicism teaches the value of surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and inspire you. Minimizing interactions with those who perpetually bring negativity can be a vital step in preserving your mental health. Number 5, maintain a support system. Imagine you're navigating a difficult time at work, dealing with a challenging project, and a particularly toxic colleague who undermines your efforts at every turn. The stress is mounting, and you feel increasingly isolated. In such moments, the importance of maintaining a robust support system cannot be overstated. A support system comprises friends, family, and colleagues who offer emotional support, practical advice, and a listening ear. These are the people who remind you of your worth and provide perspective when you're mired in negativity. Maintaining such a network is crucial for your mental and emotional health, especially when dealing with toxic individuals. Start by identifying the people who genuinely care about your well-being. These are the friends who check in on you, family members who listen without judgment, and colleagues who offer constructive feedback and assistance. These connections are your lifeline, helping you to navigate difficult times without feeling alone. One key aspect of maintaining a support system is regular communication. It's easy to lose touch with friends and family amidst the hustle and bustle of daily life. However, making a conscious effort to stay connected, whether through regular meetups, phone calls, or even text messages, strengthens these bonds. Share your experiences, seek advice, and offer support in return. This mutual exchange fosters deeper relationships and ensures you have a reliable network to lean on. Another important factor is authenticity. A support system is most effective when you're honest about your struggles and feelings. Pretending everything is fine when it's not can isolate you further. Trust that your support network wants to help and will not judge you for your vulnerabilities. Opening up about your challenges with toxic people can provide much-needed relief and new perspectives on how to handle the situation. Consider the example of a Stoic philosopher like Seneca, who emphasized the value of friendships built on mutual respect and honesty. He believed that true friends help us become better individuals, offering both support and constructive criticism. By cultivating such relationships, you create a support system that not only comforts but also helps you grow. It's also vital to diversify your support network. Relying on one person for all your emotional needs can strain the relationship. Instead, cultivate different relationships for different aspects of your life. A colleague might understand your work-related stress, while a friend from a hobby group might provide a refreshing distraction. This way, you have multiple sources of support, each offering unique insights and comfort. Maintaining a support system also involves reciprocation. Being there for others when they need support strengthens your relationships and builds trust. This mutual support creates a resilient network where everyone feels valued and understood. It's about giving and receiving, ensuring that the relationship is balanced and fulfilling. Additionally, don't hesitate to seek professional help when necessary. Therapists, counselors, and support groups can offer specialized guidance and support that friends and family might not be equipped to provide. Professional help can be particularly useful in dealing with the stress and emotional toll of toxic relationships, offering strategies and coping mechanisms tailored to your needs. Lastly, recognize that it's okay to step back from relationships that drain you. Not everyone in your life will be a positive influence, and maintaining a support system sometimes means letting go of those who contribute to your stress and anxiety. Prioritize relationships that uplift and empower you, aligning with the Stoic principle of surrounding yourself with people who contribute positively to your life. Number 6. Stay true to yourself. Imagine you're at a social gathering and a particularly toxic acquaintance begins spreading rumors about you. The easy route might be to alter your behavior to appease them or fit in, but this approach often leads to a loss of self-respect and inner turmoil. Staying true to yourself, especially in the face of toxicity, is not just about maintaining your integrity. It's about safeguarding your mental well-being. Staying true to yourself means acting in accordance with your values and beliefs, regardless of external pressures. It involves making choices that reflect who you are, not who others want you to be. When dealing with toxic people, this principle becomes even more crucial. Toxic individuals often thrive on manipulation, trying to control or change you to serve their purposes. By staying true to yourself, you resist this manipulation and maintain your sense of identity. Take the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who taught that our power lies in our ability to choose our responses. He emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control, our actions and beliefs, while accepting what we cannot. This mindset is particularly relevant when dealing with toxic individuals. To stay true to yourself first, be clear about your values. Identify what matters most to you: honesty, kindness, fairness, or any other core principle. Use these values as a guide for your actions and decisions. When confronted with toxic behavior, ask yourself whether reacting in a certain way aligns with your values. If it doesn't, find an alternative response that does. It's also essential to practice self-compassion. Recognize that staying true to yourself can be challenging, especially when faced with manipulation or pressure. Be kind to yourself, acknowledging that it's okay to make mistakes and learn from them. This approach helps you stay grounded and resilient. Another key aspect is setting boundaries. Being true to yourself means not tolerating behavior that disrespects your values or well-being. Politely but firmly communicate your boundaries to toxic individuals. For example, if someone is spreading rumors, calmly state that you won't engage in gossip and walk away. This action reinforces your commitment to your values and protects your mental health. It's important to surround yourself with supportive people who respect your values and encourage you to be yourself. These relationships provide a buffer against toxicity and reinforce your commitment to staying true to who you are. They remind you that you don't need to change to be accepted or valued. Remember, staying true to yourself doesn't mean being inflexible. It's about being authentic and honest, not stubborn. Be open to feedback and growth, but don't compromise your core values to fit someone else's narrative. In essence, staying true to yourself when dealing with toxic people involves understanding and adhering to your values, practicing self-compassion, setting clear boundaries, and seeking support from those who respect you. This approach not only preserves your integrity, but also fosters a sense of inner peace and resilience, allowing you to navigate toxic situations with confidence and grace. Number 7, don't take it personally. Picture this. You're working on a group project and one member constantly criticizes your ideas. It feels personal, right? But in reality, their negativity often says more about them than about you. This is the essence of not taking things personally, especially when dealing with toxic people. When toxic individuals lash out, their actions are usually driven by their own insecurities and issues. They might project their frustrations onto you because you're a convenient target. Understanding this helps you to not internalize their negativity. Consider the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who believed that we are not disturbed by events, but by the views we take of them. Applying this mindset means recognizing that the toxic person's behavior is their problem, not yours. You can't control their actions, but you can control how you interpret and react to them. To not take things personally, start by reminding yourself that everyone has bad days. A colleague's sharp comment might stem from stress or personal issues unrelated to you. Developing empathy can shift your perspective and reduce the emotional impact of their behavior. It's also crucial to build a strong sense of self-worth. When you know your value, others' negative opinions hold less power over you. Engage in positive self-talk and focus on your strengths and achievements. This resilience helps deflect the impact of toxic remarks. Maintaining emotional distance is another key strategy. Visualize a protective barrier between you and the toxic person. This mental separation can help you remain calm and detached, preventing their negativity from affecting your mood. Remember, it's not about ignoring constructive criticism. Be open to feedback, but distinguish between helpful advice and unwarranted negativity. If someone's comments are consistently destructive, recognize that their behavior reflects their own struggles, not your worth. In essence, not taking things personally involves understanding that toxic behavior is a reflection of the other person, not you. By cultivating empathy, self-worth, and emotional distance, you can protect your mental well-being and navigate interactions with toxic individuals more effectively. Number 8. Let them win sometimes. Imagine you're in a meeting and a toxic colleague is adamantly pushing their idea. You know it's not the best approach, but arguing seems pointless and draining. This is where the concept of letting them win sometimes comes into play. Letting a toxic person win occasionally isn't about conceding defeat or compromising your principles. It's about strategically choosing your battles to conserve your energy and maintain your peace of mind. Not every disagreement needs to be a hill to die on. By allowing them small victories in unimportant matters, you can avoid unnecessary conflict and stress. Think of it like dealing with a child throwing a tantrum over which bedtime story to read. Sometimes, letting them pick the story isn't about spoiling them, but about maintaining harmony. Similarly, in interactions with toxic people, allowing them minor wins can diffuse tension and prevent escalation. For example, if a toxic person insists on a particular way of organizing a meeting agenda that doesn't significantly affect the outcome, it might be worth letting them have their way. This doesn't mean you agree with them or think they're right. It means you value your peace more than a minor disagreement. It's important to differentiate between trivial issues and significant ones. If a toxic person's win compromises your values, well-being, or the project's success, it's essential to stand your ground. However, for inconsequential matters, conceding can save time and reduce conflict. This tactic is also rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed in focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. By choosing not to engage in every battle, you exercise control over your own emotions and reactions, preserving your mental and emotional resources. In summary, letting a toxic person win sometimes is a strategic move to maintain your well-being and avoid unnecessary conflict. It's about picking your battles wisely and focusing on what truly matters. Remember, it's not about giving in. It's about maintaining your peace and sanity in the long run. Number 9. Focus on the solution, not the problem. Dealing with toxic people can often feel like an endless loop of negativity and complaints. Instead of getting caught up in their web of problems, a more effective approach is to focus on finding solutions. Imagine you're working on a team project and a toxic teammate constantly points out flaws and issues, dragging the team's morale down. Instead of getting bogged down by their negativity, redirect the conversation toward potential solutions. For instance, if they highlight a flaw in the project's timeline, suggest adjusting the schedule or reallocating resources to stay on track. Focusing on solutions rather than problems shifts the dynamic from blame to progress. It helps break the cycle of negativity and steers the discussion toward constructive outcomes. This approach not only mitigates the impact of the toxic person's complaints, but also demonstrates leadership and a proactive mindset. In real-life scenarios, this means acknowledging the problem briefly and then quickly pivoting to how it can be resolved. For example, if a toxic colleague is always complaining about workload, instead of engaging in a gripe session, propose a meeting to redistribute tasks or suggest efficient time management techniques. This strategy aligns with the Stoic principle of taking control of what you can and not dwelling on what you can't. Stoic philosophy teaches us to remain solution-focused and resilient in the face of adversity. By keeping the focus on solutions, you take control of the situation, turning a potentially toxic encounter into an opportunity for positive change. In summary, when dealing with toxic people, shifting your focus from the problem to the solution is a powerful way to stay productive and maintain your sanity. It not only helps to diffuse negativity, but also encourages a more positive and proactive environment. Remember, the goal is to move forward, not to get stuck in the mire of complaints. Number 10. Forgive, but don't forget. When dealing with toxic people, it's important to adopt the principle of forgive, but don't forgive. Forgiveness is essential for your own peace of mind. It allows you to let go of resentment and move forward. However, remembering their behavior is crucial for protecting yourself in the future. Let's say a coworker repeatedly undermines your efforts or spreads rumors about you. You can choose to forgive them to avoid holding on to anger, which can be emotionally draining. Forgiveness helps you maintain your composure and focus on your work without being consumed by bitterness. However, forgiving doesn't mean you ignore past actions or leave yourself vulnerable. Remembering what happened allows you to set boundaries and take preventative measures to avoid a repeat scenario. You might choose to document interactions with this coworker or involve a supervisor if necessary to ensure you have support and evidence should the behavior continue. This approach is not about harboring grudges, but about learning from experience. It's realistic because it balances compassion with self-protection. Forgiving keeps your heart light, but not forgetting ensures you're wise and prepared. Applying this principle helps you navigate relationships with toxic individuals without being naive. It acknowledges the complexity of human interactions, recognizing that while people can change, past behavior is often a good indicator of future actions. By forgiving but not forgetting, you stay emotionally healthy and safeguard your interests, leading to more balanced and thoughtful interactions. Number 11. Know when to walk away. Knowing when to walk away from toxic people is crucial for maintaining your mental and emotional well-being. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, the negativity and harmful behavior of certain individuals can become too overwhelming and damaging. Recognizing this and choosing to distance yourself is a powerful act of self-care. Imagine you have a friend who constantly criticizes you, belittles your achievements, and drains your energy with their perpetual negativity. You've tried setting boundaries, having honest conversations, and even limiting your interactions. Yet, nothing seems to change, and you find yourself feeling more stressed and unhappy after each encounter. This is a clear sign that it's time to walk away. Walking away doesn't mean you're giving up or failing. It's about prioritizing your health and happiness. It's about understanding that some relationships are not worth the emotional toll they take. This decision can be difficult, especially if the toxic person is someone you've known for a long time or someone you feel obligated to. However, staying in such relationships can be detrimental, leading to increased stress, anxiety, and even depression. Realistically, walking away is the right move when the cost of staying outweighs the benefits. It's not about being cold or unkind. It's about recognizing that you deserve to surround yourself with people who respect and uplift you. Sometimes, the best way to help a toxic person is to show them that their behavior has consequences, including losing relationships. Think of walking away as an act of self-respect. You're choosing to protect your peace and invest your energy in relationships that are positive and supportive. It's a difficult but necessary step to ensure that you're living a life aligned with your values and mental health needs. In the end, knowing when to walk away is about acknowledging your worth. It's about understanding that you have the right to remove yourself from harmful environments and seek out connections that bring joy and fulfillment. This decision empowers you to take control of your life and create a healthier, more positive future. In conclusion, dealing with toxic people is one of life's most challenging tasks, but with the right strategies, it's entirely manageable. By creating physical distance, controlling your emotions, setting boundaries, and knowing when to walk away, you can protect your peace and well-being. Remember, the key is not to change the toxic person, but to safeguard yourself from their negative impact. If you found these tips helpful and want to learn more about managing difficult relationships and enhancing your personal growth, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We regularly share practical advice and insightful content to help you navigate life's challenges and cultivate a healthier, happier you. Hit the subscribe button and join our community of individuals committed to positive change and self-improvement. Thank you for watching.